Welcome back to our Game Fuel Marquee match. We've got Atlanta FaZe going up against OpTic Chicago. A shot of all 8 players as they get ready to rock and roll. And Joe, I am very much dressed like I'm on a vacation in Hawaii or something today. I don't know why I went with this, but how are you doing over there?
I'm doing well. Yeah, maybe those are the flowers in Minnesota. I don't know, but I'm doing well. It does look good, but hopefully
I broke Joe already.
Here.
Yeah, I broke Joe already. No, but Joe, I'm hoping for that too, because you think about the last couple times they played, it was 3-0s in about 40 minutes, so they have not been very competitive. We're hoping for that here, but let's meet our Game Fuel featured player, who is going to be none other than Dashy, the Phenom, running the second AR for this OpTic Chicago team, and when he has been brilliant, they've found a whole lot more success, Joe.
No, 100%. You're going to need Dashy here today, but he's been, the consistent factor for them, just being one of the best players in the world just all year long. And I think really, throughout Stage 4 and what we saw at Major 4, he's kind of slowed down at times. When he's figured it out, he's figured out his pacing. I think there were times where maybe he would over-challenge, and you'll still see that. But he's really started, I think, to know when is the right time to really play with that pace and when is it. And well, you can see right there, that hard point and control, those respawns, number 2 and number 4.
Absolutely. Yeah, can he get some of that here? Because it's going to be a very, very tough matchup. And you think about the ARs on the other side and Cellium and Arcitys. But at times, maybe that's been, I don't know, the weakness for FaZe, if there has been any. Maybe there's a chance for him to take advantage of that if he can get hot with Formal. But let's get into this. Let's start to meet our teams. First off, we're going to take a look at OpTic Chicago.
Mighty keeps it going. Formal looking fantastic. Envoy slaying his way through. Scump from up high, the king. I'm out here doing what they thinking is irrational. Really starting to run that score up. I'm gonna make it bad, make it bad, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, OpTic game in a back. Chicago are a force to be reckoned with.
Let's take a look at the squad as Dashy, Envoy, Formal, and Scump look to get locked and loaded. And Joe, we think this is a big one, even in the sense of if OpTic Chicago don't win this. We've talked a lot in the history of Call of Duty about mental blocks and how difficult it can be when a team is just thrashing you over and over again to get past that. And, for a lot of times, the OpTic dynasty, they were a mental block for teams. Here, it just feels like they need to show they can compete, right?
I mean, that's it. I look at Stage 5, but I'll also look at Champs, Playoffs, whatever you want to call it. The fact is that, say OpTic have a matchup, either at Major 5 deep into the tournament or at that final event of the year, you would hope that they have a match to look on and say, okay, we played these guys close, we can fix a couple of these mistakes, and we're good to go. We know we can compete. The last 2 matches, though, it has been the complete opposite. It has been a 6-0. They have been 35, 40-minute series. They need to be better here.
100%. I totally and utterly agree. I don't even care if you win it. It just has to be competitive. Show you can hang with FaZe. Speaking of FaZe, let's meet the team on the other side of this matchup. Let's check them out. Atlanta FaZe.
The game has turned on its head. Run! Run! Get onto the point! Cellium finds himself 2 more. Oh, baby! Absolutely slayed it. What a magnificent comeback from Atlanta.
Atlanta FaZe, the all-star squad, they have been the team to beat. Since the inaugural year of the CDL, it feels like if there is going to be a grand final, this team is going to be in it. This team is more than likely going to win it. Well, if you look at this here, aBeZy, Arcitys, Cellium, Simp, they have been so strong. They have dominated this matchup. And now it's just a time where, don't take the foot off the gas. Look to improve where you can. The big money is on the line coming around the corner. But let's check out our Game Fuel keys to victory now. We're going to kick it off with Atlanta FaZe.
Well, the first thing for me is their S&D dominance. They have beaten OpTic 4-0. The leading OpTic players have a .78. If that tells you anything, it has been as one-sided as it can get. Cellium, he is the difference maker. When you look at this team, when they are winning, Cellium is at his best, right? And that is when this Atlanta FaZe team is winning. When he's losing, you know what? They tend to struggle a little bit more. So keep your eyes on Cellium. And while they're 11-1 in the last 12 controls, limit the momentum earned by opponents. you know, staying strong on defensive. It's a #1 defense going up against the #3 offense when you look at control. And it's just really how they allow controls to stay under, well, their control. They don't allow things to get out of hand. They have such a strong defense.
You don't say. Control is important in control. What do you know?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
That'll do it for the game fuel keys to victory on one side. Let's take a look at the game fuel keys to victory now for OpTic, and take me through what you're really thinking for them.
Well, right out of the gates, I look at that form. I think he has like a 1.43, I want to say, in hardpoint throughout stage number 5. And what we saw in the last matchup against LATs for Atlanta FaZe is Cell and Arcitys had a slow series. If that happens, Formal needs to come alive and take advantage of that. Win an early map. Again, mentally, they need to show that they compete against FaZe. We've talked about that. And then limit aBeZy's first blood or officially trade them afterwards. They have to force even numbers in Search and Destroy. This guy is #1 in the league in first bloods. He is going to get them. He got them last year. He'll get them for years to come. But expect it and be ready for the trade. If he's going to play that aggressive, you have to force the 3v3s right afterwards.
Well, let's now take a look at the quick scope presented by Scump. We'll kind of check that out now. The year is gone for both of these teams. Yes, FaZe is going to be #1 in just about every category based on how their year has gone, but I don't know. I mean, you talk about the Search and Destroys, but with how lopsided the series has been, is there a specific mode you really have your eye on that OpTic's going to have to try and get the upper hand?
I look at map #1. Moscow hardpoint is a I just need to see them get on the board, right? You can get to a hardpoint, you can get some maybe momentum going. And then one interesting one is raid control. We probably have two of the titans in terms of raid control. You throw Toronto Ultra in there. I mean, Chicago's 13-7, Atlanta FaZe is 15-2. Interesting enough, you'll look at map 2, Miami Search and Destroy. That is one that OpTic has not played since the first time these two teams met, which was a long time ago. And for Atlanta FaZe, they haven't played a lot of. So Atlanta FaZe is sticking with that strategy of we're experimenting during group stage. We're going to try to expand that map pool for the end of the year. That is not stopping here.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I saw they picked Miami Search and they picked Apocalypse Hardpoint, I was like, okay, they're still trying to work on the stuff that is maybe a vulnerability. You know, it's not that they're really bad at it. They're just sitting around 50-50. Well, 50-50 exactly. 3-3 on Miami, 5-5 on Apocalypse. So it's trying to get that maybe closer to their other modes where they're winning them, you know, 70, 80, 90% of the time. This map 1, he said it, lots of pressure here. You feel like this is where OpTic need to come in, maybe strike first, get control of the series, and just help them maybe believe they have what it takes to take this team the distance.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, 10-6 for OpTic Chicago. And, you know, you get put in sort of a, when you look at the vetoes, what are you going to play against Atlanta FaZe? Are you going to play them on a Garrison? That's a tough one to play on. I know that's a good map for OpTic, but you kind of get sorted into a decision of, do we play Moscow? Do we play Raid? Moscow has been one of the go-tos for OpTic, so we're seeing it here.
Well, I think you've said it best sometimes in trying to play against FaZe. Like, you want aBeZy flying at you 20 times a game, not 40. A map like Moscow just inherently slows it down a little bit.
Yeah, slows it down a little bit, but it's still a really good start for Atlanta FaZe right off the get-go. And we've seen teams just rack up a lot of time, but what OpTic has done a really good job of in the past is sort of breaking into that P2. Scump and Formal coming down the escalators, able to find a couple of kills. And now they're going to start to earn some time, and you see Formal just working that lower street, making Arcitys have to worry about him.
Well, Arcitys able to pick that up, and what was it, Mutineers we saw yesterday that was breaking this second hardpoint so well, just with that pinch from top and bottom, taking their time, kind of spreading the defense thin, and eventually getting the break. It looks like almost everybody, they're going to work this entirely from the bottom side of it if you are OpTic. So a lot different from the breaks and chances we saw yesterday. We were watching this map. Let's see what they're able to do from this spot. So far, Arcitys is picking it up, and he's picking it up beautifully. Going to put down 2. The next fight will likely fall to Simp near the hard point. You see that #1 on the minimap in Formal, starting to push up the map.
Yeah, if that's anyone else but Formal, maybe you have Simp in a one-on-one. You can get some contest time, but Formal knows he's not going to slide out against a 74U. He has to wait for his teammates off a spawn. Arcitys, though, just waiting for the teammates from OpTic to get pushed on up. He knows he's on 4 in a row, maybe a chance to earn some early streaks, but OpTic, right off of the spawn, Envoy, he's able to find a 4 in a row of his own as he just bullies his way in, able to earn some of that scrap time, at least split the time. They're about to take the lead, but this forces a rotation across the map.
To get a nice break, to get that bit of a streak. for Envoy. We'll see if he can build anything behind it. The only person really on the other side of the map is going to be Scump. We'll see if he can win his one. Him and aBeZy both light each other up, but both going to stay up for now. Some of the reinforcements for OpTic Chicago starting to get across the map as well. Next hardpoint is popping. Nobody inside of it yet. Everybody focused on the fight at hand. Finally, FaZe going to get into it, and aBeZy going to find the opener.
Yeah, they're taking their time, though. They know they spawn one out. That's going to be Simp. So they have a 3 versus 3 by this hill. Now it's going to come down to a 2v2. Simp, though, off spawn. He's going to cut down Scump, but Envoy still alive. 5 in a row. They win the battle for the spawns. He's going to get right on that point. Well, he's going to try to. He's got to take his time because he does not want to die. He knows how important score streaks can be for them to win this map.
He's just trying to dodge everything, but unfortunately, as he tries to dodge the nade, he gets right into the POV of Simp. It's formal on 5 in a row as well. Both players going to drop, so no streak's going to be coming through quite yet. But a lead change is OpTic now. Start to build on it once again. It's a tight game. It's around 10 points separating both of these teams. So now let's look at the bottom of the minimap as Arcitys does pick up 2. We'll focus on the bus hard point. The point man, once again, going to be Envoy.
Well, really, what's been the trend of this, right? It's Atlanta FaZe just kind of rotating early, getting into the setup, and OpTic having to break. And they've done a good job splitting these hills. But sooner or later, Atlanta FaZe is going to strike. It's so difficult to constantly rely on those breaks. Maybe here is that time as aBeZy finds another multi-kill. You see the split spawns coming in. Cellium not aware of that quick pinch. And maybe another opportunity here as Scump and Envoy going to get pushed up.
Well, as OpTic start to push up the map, we'll focus on the tail end of this hard point. And as we get into the second set of rotations, let's get right into an Astro Gaming listen-in with OpTic Chicago.
On time, just...
on time, Alex.
Where's right?
He's left side.
Yeah,
spawning trees, spawning trees.
Yeah, I'm hitting out the mid. Yo, I'm going right. They're mid already. Abe weak, they're mid. He's going to Eskies. He's going to Eskies. You guys should wrap Eskies, maybe? I'm holding go window.
Yo, let's go.
Yeah, Abe might go Eskies.
Yeah,
top globe. Cell weak. Hitting time.
I think close time.
I'm helping time.
Yo, right side time, Seth. One's Eskies too.
I don't see right.
He's back right.
No, close right.
Go.
Eskies. I'm one shot.
Eskies. I got 3 shots.
Nice, 4-4. Good job.
They spawn P2 and behind us. Yeah, couple spawn. One more.
Yo, man, I'm going on street.
He could be bank or... Nothing flash street. Yo, Alex dead.
Nothing globe.
Got to be weak.
He's gonna pinch mid window. Yo, I'm gonna pinch. Make sure we block. One's P2. He's P2 right now. I pinched. Give me a sec.
Mid window on me.
I'm behind the time.
This guy P2. Mid on me.
I'm so dead. One more Eskies. Eskies, Alex, weak. You went up Eskies.
Once you be globe.
I'm missing one.
I heard Eskies. Alex here.
Yeah, Alex is
Eskies.
I have help.
So, one shot, absolute globe.
And glass.
Absolute globe laying down.
Grab time.
Left side.
I got time.
That got me globe. I'm holding my spawn. Yo, he's street stuff.
I have street. Put him in.
Come back.
One street cell. You're gonna be V-search.
Hit Alex dead.
Nice, I'm watching you mid.
I'm trying to help the back.
I'm getting research now. Research.
Yeah, I'm helping the back.
Side door
dead. I have the cross out the back.
Nothing else mid. Yo, cell's in the back.
In the back, cell. Weak, dead.
Flashman.
Give me another.
In time.
Nice job. I'm getting your mid. Yeah, I'm holding stairs.
I'm
one mid, I mean 2 mid.
I'm
holding your stairs front.
Push me.
Okay, yeah, front.
Yeah, front.
There's two there. Another mid.
Keep holding time.
Pillar peeking.
Nothing front.
Pillar stuff.
Yo, front Abe. He ran.
Yes, hit on mid.
Yeah, I'm going. Yo, Abe was front. Yo, let's hit her on the back.
Yeah, I'm down. 60 guys. Yeah, good shot. I'm gonna go street.
Same break, alright?
They played bank last time.
They played one bank, one in the back, and like 2 times.
Could be in like a crowd outer street.
Nothing mid.
Back to the action in a pristine hold, and Joe, I love the comms. Scump kind of taking over the leadership role at times. You've got a listen-ins where it's been formal. I thought you were getting contribution out of everybody, but I just really like what I heard out of Scump during that sequence.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, he's struggling a little bit, but still just trying to make an impact anywhere he can. Is Simp on this rotation able to deal with the first couple of players from OpTic on this push? And that was a great job by OpTic, just breaking that P1 setup early on from Atlanta FaZe, then transitioning it into that second hole. Now, can they get another break? You heard just at the end of the listening, let's do our same break. Let's go for it. And Envoy is having himself a map here, 19-8 against Atlanta FaZe. Not easy to do. As he is matching the output of Simp. It's what you need for him in a matchup like this, and you're getting it as they now have a 40-point lead.
Yeah, no, he's been magnificent, especially, yeah, just the kills around the objective to get the openers, to get onto the actual point. He has been brilliant. The lead continues to build up to nearly 60 now. And you got to feel good when you can get almost all the time at second. And you're getting a break and splitting the time at third. I mean, that's the ideal scenario. Now, what can they do as we get back to this bus hard point? We'll go to Envoy's POV once again, as he has been brilliant in these gunfights around the objective. Dashy, though, in your game field feature player, he's going to find the opener. That'll be 3 down, though, as the rest of the team starts to step it up. FaZe coming off a spawn. The only guy really left lurking will be Simp. And on the crossfire, it is Dashy. That's 6 in a row now for him. He is very, very close to earning that artillery. And that could be huge. I mean, they might not even need it. The lead just massive now at this point. OpTic Chicago came to play today.
Well, it just feels like, I mean, the first rotation, they were just called upon to have to break. Just the way the game played out. Throughout this rotation, they've just had a couple of holds, and that is the difference between this series. I mean, well, Dashy able to find that artillery. They're just doing such a good job waiting for one another. Their comms are on point, and now 40 points away from winning this. Is Atlanta FaZe going to get into this kind of setup? You have one player who's watching Eskies, but with Scump finding that kill, I think that's going to kind of have to force them to rotate around, and that's going to be the opening for OpTic.
They're so close. 25 points away from doing what they couldn't the last 2 times they played this team. They could not get a map win on the board. They've got a great shot to do it now. Just have to close it out. Scump trying to stay strong on the hard points. aBeZy is finally going to put him down, and Cellium through on the cross to get the shots in. aBeZy, I think it's 3 around the point, and they keep them alive, because if they can get a good chunk of this 30 seconds and maintain the hold on to second, this one's not over yet.
Well, the big question is, right, is when do you want to call in that artillery? Do you want to use it to break this and try to win the game here? You can. There's the opening above, but that isn't going to happen. Formal's going to find the first one. You still have some trades. Well, they're going to try to get all the time. They can actually win right here. The pressure now on Atlanta FaZe. They have to go. Cellium, he's going to be the first one up, and I think with that gunfight win is going to get us to the second hill, but it's only a couple of seconds away for OpTic.
They contest it just enough. Make sure they can't win it. It looks like it's just going to be the ping for now. And they're going to try this break, similar to what we saw the first time through. Everybody basically going to be working through the bottom street and bottom building, and there they get 3. They flooded through the bottom. Last guy up around the hard point with Arcitys. He's just laying prone, waiting for the help to come in. But Envoy again, brilliant as he gets near the objective. The break is through once again, and OpTic Chicago get the map 1 win. And that was one of your big keys. The key to victory. Come out and get that map 1 under your belt. Joe, they do exactly that.
Just got to get some confidence, right? That mental battle in this matchup. You have to give them props. They broke a lot of the setups that Atlanta FaZe had, especially early on in the game, because there was a chance where Atlanta FaZe, maybe, you know, you look at P2, P3, could have probably ran away with that one, or at least had the lead, and that doesn't happen. OpTic, every single time they needed a break, they got one, and you have to give props to Envoy, because who's that guy? Who's going to be the one to maybe find an opening, right? Just like we see in Search and Destroy, it is Envoy, and when he's around double positive, that means those breaks are coming in.
Just an incredible effort there, and we can't speak more to how important this is, because again, you know, losses early in the season mean one thing, but with just 1 major left and in the playoff, you've got to get that confidence going. You got to believe you can beat this team, and that map 1 is a step in the right direction. But yeah, you see it there, 29 and 14, right around 5K damage. I mean, that is pretty unbelievable stuff, and maybe a slow game from Scump, but you heard the terrific comms coming in, and when Envoy's having a map like that, sometimes it's tough for both subs to be popping off.
Well, on the other side, when you have those early rotations, it's on the ARs to hold them down. Cell, a bad map there at 11 and 19.
Yeah, I mean, Arcitys and Cell, you were worried that might be, well, maybe the opening for OpTic. That's where they could find it, and it seems that might be the case. But OpTic Chicago, they strike first. They take the 1-0 edge. We head to Miami, search and destroy after this quick break.
Seany, the official eyewear for the CDL. Armor your eyes with Seany Blocks blue light protection glasses by visiting seany.com/gaming. Get insurance savings and discounts from USAA, the official insurance partner of the Call of Duty League.
We made USAA insurance for renters who make the most of their space and money. That's why we make it easy to cover the stuff you love for as little as 33 cents a day. USAA, what you're made of, we're made for.
Hello and welcome back as we get ready to go into the map 2. We're going to take a look at our Astro social soundboard, and this is from none other than our superstar observer and Paradox. So those wins this week means Atlanta FaZe have gone a year without a loss and did not go to at least a game 5. Sheesh. Yeah, that is kind of unbelievable. Sheesh. I mean, that the only way they are losing is in a game 5 fashion at best of 5. We're obviously deeper into a best of 9 if you're talking about a grand final in the current format, but that's pretty wild stuff.
No, I mean it is, and obviously you just have to give props to their to their maps and modes and their ability to basically play everything. Just how good they are at every single game mode. But we're going to take a look now at those two players on your screen, aBeZy, Scump, and the way that they have performed in Search and Destroy. It's been Scump's strength all year long, but the key thing is on the left. It's aBeZy, his first blood ratio, just how impactful he is on the game.
Absolutely, and it's going to be really interesting getting into this map because, you said it, and when we were going through the maps and modes, we were like shocked. I was trying to think of the last time OpTic had played Miami Search. I was like, dude, I'm pretty sure it was game 5 when these guys played in like week 2 or whatever it was, like all the way at the beginning of the year. So you haven't really seen OpTic Chicago on that. Granted, they're probably practicing on it. You've seen some stuff in scrims, but in a live atmosphere like this, they have not played it in a very, very long time. And to be fair for FaZe, 3-3, it's got to be their weakest search, right, or close to it, as good as they've been across basically every map in that mode.
Well, here's the thing, though, because I think it's a little bit different. What does OpTic probably thinks that they're going to pick Raid, and I think maybe in a major, maybe they do go with Raid in this in map 2. So to me, what that says is just in practice, when Miami loads up, I think OpTic, there could be obviously this attitude towards it, but I think for FaZe, knowing that you are planning on getting better at it, there's a different attitude towards it. So we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, it's 3-3 on FaZe, but in the last, 6 to 8 weeks, they know every time this loads up, the focus has to be at 100%.
Yeah, no, if this was at Champs and, winners round 2, I don't think you're seeing Miami picked by FaZe. I don't think that's the case, no. Not when something like Raid is available, but let's see maybe how these teams have progressed in this particular map and mode. As it is offense first for FaZe, and they're working a 3-man hit towards this A site. You do have Formal and Envoy there on defense as we take a look to the aerial cam and see what the setup looks like for both sides towards this A target.
Usually this sort of situation's flopped. Usually it's Envoy in a position like that with the submachine gun, but it's a double crate setup over towards the B. Scump is able to find one over towards B. That was Simp going on a late flame. Bomb being planted though in a 2 versus 3. So you still have a chance here. And really this is on aBeZy. How much time can he buy Arcitys in a clutch situation?
And I think that's going to be key for OpTic though. If Simp's going to be kind of that offsite guy playing that lurk role, we've seen it on Raid, like, can they deal with him before he does too much damage? Well, aBeZy is surging forward. He's able to dodge the nade as well. Arcitys will get caught, so it's all going to be on aBeZy now in the 1 versus 2. Just over 20 seconds to go. Spotting for information. The snap's on point, but Envoy and the Krig simply too strong. OpTic Chicago able to retake and get this first round under their belts. But yeah, on one side of it, what a job by Envoy. I mean, he gets 3 kills all around this targeted objective. But it's a big one by Simp, too. I mean, if he rotates across or gets awkward timing with Simp, we know what a threat he can be.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, props to Scump to win that one-on-one. But as you said, Envoy opens up with 3. And then I think on the other end, Arcitys just has to wait. I think he's a little bit worried about the flank, but he cannot be open to that angle. And again, it is on aBeZy. How much time can you buy Arcitys in that situation? Because that's who he is setting up. It can't be the other way around, just like we saw, because aBeZy shot his gun. They knew his area, where he was. They're able to hunt him down. He loses that gunfight. But props to OpTic in that first round.
Let's see if they can keep Envoy going. What a series he's having, from the masterful hard point to the 3-0 start here in the search, and a little bit of a different defensive look for FaZe. They've got a three stack over towards B. Cellium going to be the lone guy here, spotting for information. The call is coming in, boys. I'm going to need some assistance. And you can see Arcitys and aBeZy. Well, just Arcitys for now, starting to work his way across.
I mean, we see a lot of slow transitions and rotations on this bomb site, but again, it's Simp working the flank. He's going to have another 1v1 against Scump. And this is why they were playing a little bit slow, because Envoy might be thinking, well, let's rotate this back to B-Cell, though. He's going to hear that slide middle of the map. He's going to hear that Arcitys is going to be able to spot it. Now Simp is in a striking position. You see that number 7. Just waiting for him to go. What can he find? It looks like he was able to spot Scump. And again, it's going to come down to this 1v1.
I think it's going to be happening all series long, or all map long, without question. Is Simp this time will get the upper hand. Envoy now going to work to get the plant. They're in a 2 versus 3, but Cellium will peek and get the angle. Now all to your game field featured player in a 1-on-3. Not going to happen. FaZe answer is both teams get it done on defense, but yeah, I just think we're going to be seeing that on both sides of the map. And it's tough because, yes, there is a game sense to it. Yes, you have that internal clock. But with that type of role, there's also there's a little bit of luck to it at times too. Like, what timing you're going to catch.
But it's also after that, right? When he starts to make adjustments and stacks the other side of the map, and then you have someone on the flank, then your team is in a 4-on-3 at the front. And it's just tough to be that flank player. So you have to decide as a team, when are we going to take a risk? Like, when are we just going to leave that open and isolate the rest of the team? Or are we just going to set up a trap for him and try to hunt him down? And how much time does that take? And that's why Simp was just kind of, it did take him a very long time to get across the map. But both teams win their defense.
Well, it looks like they're going back to, I guess, what's going to be kind of their default. One guy with eyes on mid-map. 2 trying to work towards A, and then Simp is still lurking on that B side. Yeah, he's just waiting. Or hopefully, you know, that maybe not the panic comms, but the comms that kind of come in, force the rotation over, and then he gets a 1-on-1 or he gets a wide open flank. Dashy this time able to strike first. No first blood for aBeZy. The big kill to get him off the map.
Well, that's just Envoy. Envoy gets a timing middle of the map. aBeZy's trying to work the first blood as he always does. And well, there's one of those situations where they limit that, because if Dashy doesn't have that information, the round is done. And well, guess what? Scump, he's ready for Simp again. That's 2 defensive rounds where they find him on the island. The defense strong so far for OpTic. In that round, it's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I think the way they have limited his threat on offense is huge. But now I guess I would ask you, so if it's gone that way your first 2 offenses, and Scump's doing a good job neutralizing it, do you stick to your plan, or do you try and mix up maybe Simp's positioning a little bit?
Well, I think they'll probably mix it up and hit a fast B, right? I mean, you have aBeZy on your team. That's when you have those adjustments come in. You play with a little bit more aggression, because when you play with that aggression, you force them to have to stack a bomb site. Then that's when those openings really open up for a player like Simp. But they're going to have to execute that. OpTic, they're going to know adjustments going to be made.
Well, so far, all defense. Let's see if OpTic can change the recipe for success and strike on offense. Pretty split as of now. But again, a similar defense for FaZe. We saw back-to-back, kind of same offensive setup. Defense, same thing. Restack at B, Cellium by himself towards the A side. Envoy lurking up mid-map, nearly catches Cell. And aBeZy going to be taken out for Scump, leaving his mark again.
Huge props to Scump. I mean, these are not easy one-on-ones, and he is winning them. He finds the timing. Arcitys, though, keeps them in the round. Is what? You see number 5. He's able to find that pick on balcony. That's on formal. So we're into a 3-on-3. And Cell's just been playing this spot, right? He's just watching the cross to the bomb, but again, it's Scump. There is the trade, though, by Simp. So we're into a 2-on-2. 25 seconds left, but Arcitys still alive. His bomb's being planted.
Great shots from Simp, though. Through on the cross. They'll have a... Oh, both are down. I thought I was looking at 2v2, but both already wiped off. It plenty of time for the defuse, and the defenses will stand tall again as they get the retake. But Simp, kind of the first time he could really have an impact, and Arcitys just showing his love. Showing his love for
I mean,
Chicago.
those guys. You see it. You see it over there. You see it over there. Who knows what Cell's doing in the game chat, because that guy likes to get freaky.
But yeah, he is freaky,
I love it.
freaky.
But this is the kill, because if Formal is alive in the 3-on-2, similar to Arcitys in round 1, you're setting up Formal for that clutch to find the angle. Once the bomb is planted, he gets picked, the round falls apart.
Let's see if they do change it. I mean, it looks, at least off the break, it's going to be the same thing. This 3 towards A, 1 will keep an eye on mid, and Simp will lurk. And you just got to think at some point,
so
Simp's going to find that timing.
Right? They 3-stacked this. I mean, why wouldn't you?
Well, expect that
maybe
to come?
FaZe
Does it hit?
Yeah.
Yeah, they expected what you said, I'm sure.
So, they still have time, though, to make adjustments, to make those rotations. There's that one-on-one in the middle of the map. Envoy, RC's both gonna take some damage, both gonna back on down. But at times it's just a mind game.
Well, yeah, it's in a way it's like a little rock paper scissors. Like, you know, they went rock. Are they going rock again? And they do stick with it, but Formal will find the opening kill as aBeZy works to get the bomb down. And guess who's still floating by B? Scump is still holding. Formal though again. Coming into the kill phase. He gets his second. All on Simp and Cellium now. I think that one-on-one finally about to happen. There it finally does. And Simp takes out Scump. Cell getting the tags through. Cell now last alive at a 1 versus 2. 24 seconds left on it. And just trying to play the defense of this bomb. Dashy coming in with the peek. Dashy gonna get his head peeled off. The chow though from Formal. And he wins it with 10 HP to get 3 in the round. Formal with the plays near the A site.
I mean, Cell has first shot there. He's got the read. The beams are in for Cell. He just took down his teammate. Formal doesn't care. Look at that. He is so weak and then just snaps right onto him. What a round out of Formal.
Did Dashy hit Cell at all?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. So yeah, I think Cell just got smoked. I'd have to see it again. But I think he won it clean versus Dashy. A Formal hell of a round. Simp finally wins that one-on-one versus Scump, but in the end, doesn't matter. As the defenses continue to clutch up when they need to.
Well, just look at the top right, though, right? I mean, we talked about aBeZy and his first was 1 and 4 to start this map. A bit unusual, but they're doing a good job just limiting him and how he can move around. But as soon as I say that, he finds the first blood. But there is the trade. They had to be quick on it. You're into a 3-on-3.
And Envoy's like, okay, I don't want any part of this. Like, you just see Simp sliding back and forth in the doorway. He'll back up for now. Simp will be caught for the backside. That'll be 4 in a row. 4 Formal. And look at this. They're just going to wrap this out mid-map. The one guy with eyes on it would be Cellium, but they've got the read. They catch him, and this should be the first offensive round victory, but you still have RCs alive in the 1 versus 3.
And you just love the confidence for Formal. He has the read. They knew Simp's position. He puts the shots in, down to Cell, backs him up. He's able to hit the slide, and Arcitys, yeah, he's just forgot how to swim.
Oh, he is drowned. No oxygen. Means no Arcitys. As finally somebody gets an offensive win. Now you have the 2-round separation. Oh, but there's the rotation off the site. And the read from Dashy to catch Cellium as they're in transition. Beautifully done. Now edge to OpTic. And Formal still riding on that 4 in a row.
And then just look, man. I mean, everyone is contributing on this OpTic side. 5 from your ARs, Envoy with 4, Scump with 4. And, you know, for Scump, a lot of those are critical one-on-ones, just deeper into the rounds that he is winning. It's a very patient map from both of these teams, but OpTic currently in the lead, winning that offense.
Yeah, I mean, Scump, he's going into this thinking, at some point I'm having a one-on-one versus aBeZy or Simp. Like, it might not be the most fun thing, but he's doing great with it thus far. This will be the first real, I guess, kind of different look we'll see on offense from FaZe. But Envoy and Scump just playing it patiently. Lock down top purple. aBeZy. He wants to slide in. There's the chow through. He wins the first, but there's the trade. You were so big on how they had to be ready for that trade, and so far they've done it beautifully. Arcitys, though, able to finish that off. That'll be the B site cracked wide open. 3v2 advantage now for FaZe.
Well, that was the key was keeping even numbers. And that's just a little, you know, the presence here a little bit too much for Atlanta FaZe. Yes, the first step done. Get it to a 3v3. But Cell, he gets caught. And Dashy able to take his head off. But we're doing a 2-on-2. 33 seconds left to work this defuse. And we know how tough this could be to retake this site with all the angles on this bomb. Oh, hey.
Wall bang through, though. Yeah, you just shoot him right through it. Just rip him through the van. Now it's all going to be on Arcitys. He's able to spot one. He's got both guns to work with. He wins his one-on-one. 13 seconds to go. Spots for information. Sees Dashy's not on it. But he chows out. Not enough time. Not enough time. It was close, though. It was close. I actually thought he was going to have just enough time to insta-hop it, but I don't think it was there. Oh, dude, that was actually even closer than I thought it was.
Well, it's because he had to, like, strafe back, right? If he's on top of that bomb, I don't know if he has the angle to take him down, but, I mean, props to Arcitys. First winning the one-on-one, but then throwing the shoulder, and it's always a tough one in that situation. Do you just hold it? Do you just stick it through? Dashy decides to drop it. And it's close. It's very close, but Arcitys is able to clutch it on up.
Yeah, I mean, he won a couple of key one-on-ones in that. Well, same for really for Dashy and Arcitys. So obviously, OpTic finally win an offense, and then FaZe decided it's their turn to win an offense. So we're kind of back to where we started. Let's see how OpTic try to work this, but looking at a 2-2 opening so far, and still pretty similar defense. And that'll be the first, looks like kind of clean first blood for aBeZy. Able to get it, get out with his life, numbers to FaZe, and something he's so good at, but 8 rounds in, the first time you're really going to see it.
Yeah, but it's starting to happen, right? He's starting to get comfy, starting to get going. What's his third first blood now? The last 2 rounds, some clean one-on-ones, and that's just when he's difficult to stop. Formula looks like he found an opening on the cell. Nobody watching the middle of the map. He gets some good timing. We're into a 3-on-3.
The first blood kind of goes out the window. Great shots there from Arcitys. Put the numbers back into their favor. aBeZy may be in trouble. Tries a little drop shot. Formal not falling for it. To a 2v2. 20 seconds to go. Arcitys wins another big one-on-one. He has been so huge for them over these last couple of rounds. But Formal, the ability to take over in these rounds, gets it down to a 1 versus 1.
He can plant. He can plant. Oh, I don't think he has time now. He doesn't have time. He's got to hunt down the kill.
Yeah, he didn't get there in time. Doesn't get there in time, and FaZe go back-to-back rounds, so now tie us up at 4-4. And yeah, I thought if he won the fight and picked it up immediately, he had enough time to get on it, but he just looked a little bit awkward.
I think he stutter stepped, though. I think he could have got it.
I think he could have too, yeah.
It's close, but yeah, this is that gunfight, and oh, this is why it can be so tough sometimes, because players on Atlanta FaZe, yeah, I mean, they don't miss very often, and RC is going to take down Dashy. That's going to force a 2v1. Again, a nice attempt from Formal. Force the 1v1, and it's just a couple of seconds. That's the difference in these rounds so far.
Yeah, I'm loving this. It's a beautiful back-and-forth battle. FaZe this time looked to be a little bit more heavy-handed towards the B site. Simp, instead of being the lurk man, he's actually going to have bomb in hand. That lurk roll will be over to Cellium, and well, Cellium's already gone. Envoy gets wide out to the boat and able to get the kill. I thought aBeZy in trouble, but Arcitys is able to peel off Dashy's head, so quickly to a 3v3 we go. As Scump tries to reposition, simple work to get this bomb down. They're setting up the pinch, though. You've got Scump on one side, Formal on the other, T2P looking to collapse, and Scump will strike first.
Yeah, it's just reactions on both sides. Atlanta FaZe, they know they have to go. They can't allow Envoy to pinch them. Scump is able to get out. He's able to work the flank. But now we're into another 2-on-2 situation. 30 seconds left. It is deja vu to try to work this defuse. All these different angles that Formal and Envoy have to run into.
And they know they've got to get Simp out of that spot, but first they have to go through aBeZy. Not going to happen. aBeZy shuts it down, gets both. 3 rounds in a row now for FaZe is they're on match point.
Well, it's just props to Atlanta FaZe because it's this kill, right? As soon as Envoy takes down Cell, they know they have to go. They cannot allow Envoy to get pushed up, for them to get trapped inside of that parking garage. It's, you know, obviously not what you want. You don't want to lose the first blood, but It just means it's green light. We have to execute on B.
Well, yeah, it's no longer a way of biding time to see if maybe Cell can win his one or get a pick. Or, hey, yeah, it's just we need to get this done before the numbers are in their favor on this side of the map. No hesitation. They hit it, and it works out beautifully. And aBeZy, yeah, I mean, he's really started to get into a rhythm. The deeper this has gone, now on 3 in a row and up to 7-7. Look at OpTic Chicago. Win this offense to get us to the all-important round 11. Cell just using his utility, trying to spot if there's anybody close. And aBeZy is just, look at him. I mean, he's not sprinting around this round. He's taking a little nap by the beach.
Well, and that's just due to what OpTic has done through the middle of the map at A, right? I mean, they've kind of taken middle of the map away, just like Formal is doing, but the adjustment's there for Atlanta FaZe. And guess what? It's an aBeZy first blood. There's no trade. So he's starting to get those clean ones where now they have the man advantage deep into these rounds.
Yeah, that's just different than the first blood we're used to for him. Usually, you know, flying fast, shouldering, slide canceling onto somebody there, just laying prone, line and wait, and then Simp, his duo, follows it up. 4v2 now for FaZe to close out this map too and tie it up 1-1. And Envoy's just going to backtrack, work to get this down, but he may get the plan in, but now he's going to pull off one of the more absurd 1v4s we've seen if he's going to get it to a round 11. Anyone can do it. Maybe it's Envoy based on how his map 1 went. First fight through, not going to happen. aBeZy gets the kill. FaZe get the win, and that'll bring us to 1-1.
What, 4-2 for OpTic and then 4 rounds in a row. A couple adjustments for Atlanta FaZe. What, you know, a bomb site really wasn't working, but they found the weak site. They were able to get the bomb down, and every time you're going to do a 2-on-2 with the bomb planted there, they found the kills, whether it's the clutch from Arcitys, aBeZy and Simp winning their 2-on-2, and then on defense, they shut down the middle of the map. They're going to tie the series up.
Yeah, that was just a really kind of fun search and destroy to watch it play out. It's not like, you know, we had a lot of crazy 1v3s or insane individual plays. It was just fun to watch the players and teams work off each other and adapt throughout the course of the game.
Yeah, I think it was 3-7 a start for aBeZy, and then he got comfortable and he works his way up to 9-7. So he doesn't die for a couple of rounds in a row. That means he's getting the first bloods. What I talked about, is there a trade on him? No, that cannot happen. You just have to find a way. I know it's difficult to do, to get those trades early on in those rounds.
Yeah, it 100% is, but as they continue to dominate the search and destroy in this matchup, that'll bring them to what now, 5-0 in this particular matchup and in that particular mode. But we now want to take a look at our U.S. Army tactical play. That's actually going to be from the round 9. It's going to be one of the aBeZy moments and plays that he was able to have. Yeah, I just felt like the deeper it got, the more he was getting the timings down in the openings, and he really started to make OpTic pay. So we'll check it out once more.
Well, and this is into that, you know, when they go towards the B site, this is into that 2-on-2. It's the team shot on the Dashy. Scump has a chance here to really make the play. He's able to find one, but then it's quick from aBeZy. He's hoping that Envoy's in a position to trade with him, or at least just, you know, buy some time for his teammates to get there, but that doesn't happen. And over towards this B site, when the bomb is planted, you have, well, this little position right here that can be so difficult to deal with. The tactical, the flash is on point. You see Envoy is blind. Then you're asking Formal and Envoy with Prigs to run in the duo submachine guns. That's not easy to do.
It is not easy to do at all, but FaZe, they adapt, they make the improvements, they win 4 rounds in a row to close it out, take the search and destroy, but that'll leave us at a 1-1 match count. In this best of 5, we've got Control coming up next after the quick break.
Call of Duty League is brought to you by T-Mobile. T-Mobile is the shot caller in 5G. Lead the game from the lobby to the last push with America's largest, fastest, and now most reliable 5G network.
You have to hand it to him so far. Oh, baby.
Slasher looks to lay down some fire, takes down Mack for the first, and they have to get on the bomb. 15 seconds, Asim, he's running in the defuse. No one from the Thieves are looking to challenge. Can they get here in time? Can anybody take him down? They do!
Slow these attacking players, trying to get them off the bomb. Temp, lying in wait. Dashy, will he walk into it? Yes, he will. 2v2. And it could all come down to Envoy. Oh boy, Scraps is there, the trade comes through, but it's the King who lands the shot. The second player up was Temp, and Scump nails it.
Scraps is able to shut him down, so no streaks early on, but all the time, still going the way of FaZe. Cellium lives inside the hard point. He's got a 5 spree of his own, lighting up the kill feed.
A delightful start from Atlanta FaZe. Again, just showing that they're opening gambits, are strong enough, and they're working them all the way through here. Now into the second point we go. Shots in from Cellium. That's 6 in a row for him. It is a very dominant opener here from Atlanta FaZe, and you have to hand it to him so far. Oh, baby. That's going to be 7 now in a row for Cellium. That's streaks, and the rest of the squad's picking up kills as well. Oh, lordy.
Hoping to get that bomb down somewhat shortly. Slasher for top PD. Again, everybody getting tagged up with bullets, but no one yet to drop. However, that quickly is about to change up as Drazah finding himself on the flank. Nobody watching the backside, as that's going to be 3 in a row for him.
So now they have the man advantage. The only thing now is that the Ravens have the bomb down, but John knows he's just going to put the pressure on. He's going to be able to take down PaulEhx. Now it's all left up to Seany in a 1v3.
Good luck to Seany. Able to drop John to start off. Nothing being spotted for the moment. Into the initial engagement, tosses out the nade, bait and switch. Kenny does get found out, and now fire does get laid upon Slasher, and how about Seany?
The official Seany Call of Duty League eyewear is finally here and available to buy now. Head to seany.com/CDL to choose from all 12 team branded collections and get your signature Call of Duty League frames. Every pair comes in an exclusive case and cloth for your team style or signature league style. All of Seany's Call of Duty League eyewear is available with Seany's blocks lens technology, which armors your eyes against blue light. And Maven, that is important because we are in front of monitors and lights all day, so
always.
Yeah, you know, you can get your prescription in them as well.
100%. Love that. And you're looking good. You're looking good in those Seany glasses, Joe. I love it. I love it. But now back to the match. We're going to talk about the control, but if you're just joining us, I mean, OpTic, fantastic hard point to start it off. They got the breaks when they needed to. A brilliant map from Envoy. They were looking so good in the search and destroy as well. Up 4-2, limiting aBeZy, limiting Simp. And then it's 4 straight from FaZe as they adapt to the mid game and start to look better. We're tied up 1-1, but we'll talk about the control and why this is. It's almost felt in a way like FaZe are up 1-0 in series before they start because they've been so good in control.
Yeah, I mean, you just see they're #1 in everything. #1 in attack, #1 in defense, but you see the defensive rounds here, and that's the key for me. 61 and 14. I mean, they're 15-2 on raid control. Maybe one of the easier, well, probably the easiest map to win an offensive round on. But if they continue to stand strong there, they don't allow the game to get away from them. They stay strong. They don't allow momentum, to go to that offensive team where they're down 0-2, just always in such a hole. We have 2 of the best control teams in this season, but Atlanta FaZe has been #1 throughout.
Yeah, especially, I mean, raid. They're 15-2. They've been unbelievable there. But OpTic now looking to answer back. We'll see what they can get done here in the map 3. And I don't know who I'm looking at. I mean, everyone's had their moments, some clutch rounds from Formal, but the respawn, I mean, it was Envoy that was really the playmaker, statistically just above the rest. Maybe he's the guy to look to in this map 3.
Yeah, I think when you look at raid control, a lot of the times, it's around that B point. When you get done with A, especially on offense, can you control kitchen? Can you just be such a pain for the defensive team where you always have a sub watching rotation off the laundry spawn, peeking that money window when you try to come out of basketball? That's when we've seen teams like Atlanta FaZe do a really good job, Toronto Ultra do a really good job. So you're looking at your sub duos and what an impact that they can make inside of that kitchen.
We'll keep an eye on that over the course of the matchup, but so far, OpTic kind of did what you wanted. They came in, they won that map 1. Still struggling to find that search and destroy win, but maybe they'll have another shot at it. We get to a map 5. It'll be offense first here for FaZe. We saw the stats and how good they can be from that position. It's a heavy-handed hit towards Ring, and Scump's going to be trying to finesse all around. He's got a Legion in front of him, but Dashy and Formal with the ARs looking over him. All Scump's teammates get all the kills, but he is the bait man up front. Clean sweep. Now FaZe back to step 1. Beautifully done by OpTic off the opener.
Yeah, now Envoy's ready for the rotation water side, but it's going to be inside of art they're trying to take control of. A nice trade on the Scump, just give you some breathing room. But Pillar's control was all OpTic until Formal and Dashy both get taken down. So they'll be out into A. It looks like right off of spawn, OpTic, with Envoy getting that kill, they're going to try to retake this.
Yeah, they're going to go right back for it. You only get 1 point of progress. Now, the guy with the routes, Simp, he gets through on the flank. He wins the fight in laundry as well, and now you're going to have to give this up. Everybody from FaZe onto the point. They'll have it paused with 45 seconds on the clock. We're 22-22 in life count. Now they'll have a minute 45 to work this opener and work towards B as OpTic get fanned across the map. You can see how pushed up Dashy has been able to get. What can they do behind this? aBeZy able to find the first kill on Envoy, and right into kitchen they go.
Yeah, Simp and aBeZy, they had 5 in a row as a squad. They're trying to just fly on through. Jump able to find one, Formal with another. Arcitys goes through basketball. That was the player that, you know, Scump was able to tag on through, but he gets through, finds another kill, and then able to get another one. Now, guess what? Now you have Cellium inside a kitchen, and this is where it can get tough defensively for teams to retake this zone.
I mean, yeah, you've got your setup, right? Nobody got bedroom for OpTic Chicago. That's already been cleared out by FaZe. They've got somebody pushed up the Tiki. They've gotten to kitchen. This is the ideal setup for FaZe to close this out. Just looking for the wave of kills and to win their one. Cellium able to take his. They do lose one guy who's going to spawn out real deep. It'll be Arcitys that tries to get back into the action. Formal going huge here from kitchen. You still have a presence. aBeZy able to win a big one as he gets the headshots in. But the gunfight took a while, and the rallying troops in OpTic Chicago able to get back into position. For now, they've held on. There's still only 1 point of progress done. A minute left to go. Basically still even in life count.
Yeah, you're just seeing, though, they're just able to get through. They don't have anyone towards bedroom. Once again, Simp so quick on the flank, though. I don't know if they're going to expect him to be there, and they're not. Dashy's going to get taken down. And you see, as soon as that happens, the reaction from Atlanta FaZe, they're flying in a kitchen. Scump and Formal, though, trying to do what they can defensively. Now Envoy off a spawn. Arcitys just trying to hold on so his teammates can get pushed up down low water.
So far, so good. OpTic have been able to hold on. Now, the time dwindling. Just 20 seconds to work with for FaZe. This will be the last real effort to get in. Scump staggers it once again. That'll be aBeZy sent back to spawn, but now Simp, maybe with an opener. Cellium can't get through the cross on water as Dashy from the window still making plays. aBeZy going to try and disrupt this. Not going to happen as Scump still plays it strong defensively. They try to get onto the point. They're able to do so with 2.7 left. This is the moment of desperation. No respawns now remaining for Atlanta FaZe. aBeZy, he's out of this round. Dashy on 5 in a row. As he looks to maybe build some streaks. That second bit of progress almost done. Arcitys is still there. No respawns remaining on the OpTic Chicago side either. It's all going to come down to this sequence. Scump now through on the flank, and he will line them up. Able to get 2. Is Envoy and Scump find the kills. They lock it down. They get the defensive round win.
Oh, that gets close, and I get a little bit worried here. I mean, Arcitys is making the plays, but when Dashy mantles out, I mean, he's on 5 in a row. You know, he's got this window angle. When he mantles out here, I get a little bit worried because he shouldn't be the first one to go. It should start from water stairs, but he gets a little bit early, maybe, you know, just a little antsy. Doesn't want them to capture that point, but it was only, what, 1 or 2 players on the zone. But they're able to take their time. They get the push. They use their numbers, and Scump 11 and 5 in that round. He closes it out.
I feel like we've seen that play so many times, like from a different POV. Like There's just that madness around the point. One person defensively hits the flank and just able to line up the bodies. Beautifully done there from Scump. Now they'll get on the board first. What can they do on offense? They've already got a presence at pillars, but Cellium and Simp trying to hold him off. As Arcitys squeaking all the way up towards garage side. This 8-point just about done.
And this is where that strength comes in as the #1 defensive team, because you do not want to go down 0-2 in a control. You know, luckily OpTic wasn't able to earn streaks last round. But going down 0-2, especially on raid, not easy to come back from. aBeZy locking down the middle of the map, and Arcitys, he's been here the entire time. Off a spawn, finds all 3. And now his teammates get pushed up to him, and the trap is on.
Yeah, and that, you know, you see they were so comfortable with letting A get capped. I mean, Arcitys at no point tried to rotate over and help, just held it. Now you can see why. Look at the lives advantage. Already up 7 lives. And a big part of it, that sequence from Arcitys. Oh, hello, I'm still here. aBeZy's on 5 in a row, 4 in a row for Arcitys. Finally, he'll get shut down. But aBeZy's starting to get close to streaks. There's number 6.
I mean, you're up 10 lives. I know it doesn't matter when you only have 1 zone left, but just to show the dominance of this round so far by Atlanta FaZe. And yeah, you know, it's looking good when you get A that quickly. But FaZe, they were ready for that rotation, that transition, and they set up all map control on you. aBeZy, as you said, on 6 in a row. Can he find number 7?
But if you're going to have a lives disparity, you want it to be when you're on offense, because it can just take one big push. I thought that was number 7. He needed one more bullet in, but I think Formal, sort of the guardian angel, make sure those streaks come in. Now, they lose numbers over that stretch, and now Cellium on 4 in a row, but at least to make sure streaks don't come in. But yeah, it's going to rely on that one big 3-4 down to get onto the point. You have 12 lives left. You just kind of been bodied throughout this round.
Envoy's going to open things up, maybe just to allow them to get water control. And maybe behind that, Dashy. Envoy keeps on going, but there's only 20 seconds left. Just trying to get over towards this Tiki bar. If you get to Tiki, that's when plays are being made, but aBeZy and Simp are locking it down.
And you've just seen how strong the defense can be from FaZe. They let A go so quickly, but OpTic has not really been able to touch B until maybe now. There's the pinch on in. Envoy is able to take down 2. 2.3 seconds on the clock, and Formal's going to be alive on the point. You've got 3 players here. It's Envoy is trying to track across as he was the last man to drop. First bit of progress about to be done, but Simp wins a big one in kitchen. Now you got to worry about multiple angles if you're Dashy. Tries to line it up, but once again, it'll be Formal by himself, and the lives disparity simply too big. 1 player left, no time to get to the point. I think Scump was mid-courtyard, and FaZe, defensively, just lock it down after losing that first point. It kind of starts with that sequence from Arcitys towards garage.
It gets close, though, and I mean, it really obviously makes the play, a Simp-esque play. As he goes through that basketball flame, finds the timing, able to get two on. And as we were talking about it, it's usually about, you know, and everybody alive. Just one push. If you get onto that point, force that defensive team to get into a situation where they panic, that's when you can clutch on up. It almost happens with the kills inside of money, kills inside basketball, and give them the round.
Even then, like, they were just so low in the lives department. Like, you still have to get, like, another wave of kills, usually. And they just didn't have any bodies left to throw at when it was all said and done, and well, at the time too. Both
really, everything was working against them. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. It would have taken something crazy. Oh, RC's gonna go down. He's got 38 HP, and well, a couple nades come in to put him into the dirt. The rest of the kills, though, go the way of FaZe. Formal will be the final one to drop, and with a 3-life advantage, that'll be the A capture point. Well, I'll see if they can find more success offensively, and maybe they can, because Cellium already gets 2 lined up on court side.
I mean, that's a problem. They push that, and it's right when that closes. Cellium, he gets pushed up off a spawn. It's 2 free kills. You have nobody inside of money if you are OpTic. It's one of those things where you just get into your defensive setup. So this doesn't happen where you're down 5 lives early.
Well, kind of like we just saw FaZe do, right? Like, they just didn't, they lost A. They were like, big whoop. We'll get into our setup. OpTic never really get the chance to get into their setup. And now you're going to be into this long battle to just try and get into your spots. And they might be able to get the retake and do exactly that, but it's just a little more difficult. 2 big kills from Formal. Envoy through on the flank, and now you get some breathing room. Down 5 lives. His Envoy continues to go on a tear. Crisp headshots there onto Arcitys in mid-courtyard. But there was a moment where your heart might have skipped a beat if you were an OpTic fan, because it looked a little bit stressful.
Yeah, but every one of those scrappy fights is a win for FaZe with that life advantage. But now they're able to get into their defensive setup. It's slowed down on the time, down to 1:15 as Formal and Envoy tack on 2 more. But Cellium, he's flying on through.
Yeah, Envoy, I think was on 4 in a row, but that'll end. Formal, I think, just peeked through like mid-zig and killed somebody off spawn coming out of garage, so that'll stagger the push a little bit more. But Cellium's gotten into a Tiki with trophy cover. And Arcitys looking over him, is able to take down 2. Now here comes the flood. Here comes the swarm. Can Envoy be huge again? He's already taken out 1. There's the second to follow. The playmaker for OpTic Chicago doing it again.
Yeah, every time, Atlanta FaZe get inside a Tiki bar, players like Cellium, he kind of has these positions where he just looks like such a tough kill, and that's one of them. So they deal with that. Envoy able to find more kills. He's got 40 engagements in this so far. And the pressure on, matching aBeZy in his output. Another one of those scenarios where pretty close in lives, but still a lot of work to do for Atlanta FaZe in the objective work.
See if maybe they can do it here. You do have Scump starting to pinch through water steps. They're able to catch him, but Dashy will clear him out from Tiki again. 15 seconds now to go. And look, there are 3 players in and around kitchen. You have just enough presence there that Envoy is able to come out on top. Really, the last guy there is going to be Cellium, and now I just don't think anyone can get there in time.
Gets close. Gets close down to a 1-on-2, but yeah, they were off a spawn, and this is just good defense for both of these teams. Trading in this area around kitchen every single time an offensive player gets to Tiki. They're not letting a multi-kill come through. We haven't really had a 4-down scenario where the team's on the objective. You have to give props to both of these squads on what they're doing on defense.
Yeah, the retakes have been incredible. I mean, just from OpTic there, there were 2 moments, especially right after A got captured, where it didn't look great. At least when you saw the map positioning FaZe were able to get and how OpTic just weren't into their ideal setup. But bit by bit, they pick them apart. Wonderfully done. Sort of like the search at the beginning. It's all defense early. Let's see what OpTic can do on the offensive end of things. Just Simp, the little wallbang battle there with Envoy, but Envoy able to take it. Dashy, speaking of taking things, it's Cellium's head clean off. Now he's out to 4 in a row, and I wonder if streaks will be the difference at some point. We've had players on either side of this so close, but nobody able to earn them. Now with that 3 down, that should be the 8-point captured. And this is a little bit different this time around. I mean, last time they gave the 8-point, they end up walking away with like a 7 life advantage after the Arcitys play. This time the complete opposite.
aBeZy just walked over Envoy. I mean, Envoy got to this spot. He was just lurking on the rotation. And yeah, like you said, defensively for FaZe, they were up in lives. That was a great communication. I think Arcitys was going on alert driveway. They were able to find him. So they still have a lot of map control. It's only Simp who's pushed up for Atlanta FaZe. aBeZy gets taken down. So now you're asking Envoy and Scump, just continue to slay. Continue to just pause that clock. You see now Envoy up to 5 in a row as this series for him in the respawns continues.
And if he gets some streaks, they can seal it here. Close it out on offense. Checking both his sides, looking for a freebie. As Cellium and aBeZy just wait to pounce. Yeah, they're just worried about thinning the lives for the most part for now and stopping this clock when they can. And 3M there from Envoy. There's number 6. His teammates falling around him, though. Might need a wild gunfight win here to get the 7th. It's not going to happen. Cellium with the slow peek at the corner takes him down. And it's just another player falling a little bit short, unless maybe he got the streak through the objective progress. But I don't know if he was the one actually on it when that tick came through.
No, he was off it. No, he was off it. I mean, we'll see when we go to his point of view, but I don't think he got anything. But you just
I
saw
don't think
what
he did either.
Both teams were doing. It was a bit of a standoff where, you know, you just had one player on the objective, and it was almost like a retake of a bomb site, right? In a 4 versus 4, just waiting for that first domino to fall. He's able to clutch on up behind aBeZy, and his plays inside a kitchen. Is now OpTic. Yeah, you're up 3 lives, but you only have 40 seconds to work with. You gotta somehow fight for this water position, get on the objective, and just pause that clock.
Well, and FaZe have really chipped away at this too, because it was as high as what, 7, I think, the life differential. So they brought it much tighter here. Now just 2. The clock might be everything. Can they get one big opening? Now it's aBeZy on 5 in a row. He'll drop right after that. So another person close to streaks that can't quite close it out. Here comes Dashy, though, takes the first one-on-one. The insta-trade should be there. It is from Simp. A one-on-one between Cellium and Formal over towards the apartment side will go the way of Cellium as he's just continuing to pin him. I mean, Cellium is finding huge kills, just staggering this, not allowing them to even get out of garage. No one will touch the point, and it's defense, 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 defense. Thus far through our first 4. And a little bit different that time around. I mean, it was kind of just choking them out the first time with the lives advantage. This time, FaZe have to kind of crawl their way back into it, but they do it. Yeah, and what they did really well is the bait and switch around basketball. Anytime the sort of fight starts from there, they were coming out on top. Like, OpTic, obviously, they get in those positions, but I was wondering who were in more objective ticks, and it's going to be Atlanta FaZe on defense for round 5. Yeah, usually I try to keep that in the back of my head, but I lost track of it like after the second round, so I wasn't entirely sure. So sometimes I was writing it down, but I don't know. This is just such a fun matchup, right? Just between these two teams. Yeah, yeah. Now, it really has been back and forth. This is what we've been wanting from this. You know, the last 2 were blowouts, but you think about the first time they played that game 5, it was, you know, a crazy sequence. Give me more of that here. But OpTic, both times in their offense, they found pretty quick and easy success onto A. This time it'll happen again. So they get that first point done, and now we get 3 different looks at it, right? FaZe was up big time in the lives department the first time. OpTic had a big life advantage the second time. Now we're going to be dead even after getting the 8 points. So you're going to see all sorts of different looks at this. Now can OpTic Chicago get life advantage? Right, it was sort of this transition. This is when they got into their setup. That's when they found those 4 or 5 kills in a row. When they set Arcitys up, you know, on the OpTic side of the map. But it's going to be all of OpTic working through kitchen. Look at Arcitys. He's working back. He knows where this push is coming from. aBeZy's going to be the first man up. Of course he is. And, well, him and Arcitys are going to find those first 2 kills. And now you see Cellium and Simp react. They're going to try and kill them off of spawn. You're going to have to put a little bit of faith in Arcitys and aBeZy to win this on the other side of it. That's a hell of a nade. aBeZy just soars right onto that. Cellium gets caught on the other side, but Simp will still be up. Now you have these 3 players here from OpTic. aBeZy's been trying to reposition after taking the nade. He's going to do it beautifully. He'll get 1. He'll tag up a second. Cellium there to finish off the kill. Everybody's spawning apartment side now for OpTic Chicago, but unfortunately, a little friendly fire comes in as Envoy takes out Formal with his Simtex. Yeah, but even right there, right? Just seeing aBeZy and Cell, their way they're bidding and switching, that's how they've held on to B. But now they don't have anyone there until right now. No kitchen control. Number of members of OpTic on it. We're almost up to 2 ticks. Formal locking down kitchen. And this could just be on aBeZy. Can he find a kill or 2? As Arcitys just flies through cutout. He flies through cutout, but aBeZy takes down his teammate. It's back and forth, and OpTic able to win round 5. Nobody can get an offensive round win until the final round. OpTic do it and close it out. But Formal, he is huge in this sequence, whether it's here getting kills from the side of Tiki or the cutoff he had inside a kitchen. OpTic goes so clutch to get the respawn win, take the edge 2-1. You gotta love to see this if you are an OpTic fan, just showing they have what it takes to go toe-to-toe versus Atlanta FaZe. They retake control of the series. They're up 2-1, just a map away from taking this best of 5. Only Atlanta FaZe's 3rd loss on that map and mode. Just defense, defense. Wow. But when you hear players talk about it, you know, round 5 is similar to a round 11. At times you've had so many different looks at it, so many adjustments that you have to make.
you know what you need to do to win an offensive round, and we see that right there on OpTic. You can see they break a 7-game control win streak for Atlanta FaZe.
That is just so impressive. I mean, getting a hard point win at times versus FaZe, I mean, many teams have done it, but it has been,
I mean,
few and in between. When you talk about the control, it is just unbelievable. What's popping to you on the scoreboard?
It's a bloodbath. I mean, just look at the stats on both sides, right? I mean, it really was. Like, there was just all of these different back and forth battles, but when it comes down to it, it's great plays out of Formal, out of Scump. He gets 30 kills, almost 6,300 damage. They're able to win that map.
OpTic, they're making some noise against the top team in the game at the right time. What we've got is a Stage 5 Major in the final playoff to decide it all. But OpTic have come to battle today, up 2-1, looking to close it out the hard point. We've got Apocalypse coming up next. And guess what? FaZe starting on the weak side. It's their pick. That's coming up after the break. Welcome back to the bloodbath. We're going the distance into a map 4 we go as these two teams vie for control in a key part of the season. But take a look at the bottom of your screen. Go to gamefield.com/CDL. You get a CDL team pack with any purchase, so check it out if you haven't already. But yeah, focus on the match at hand. I think Joe and I have been waiting for this a long time. You always get excited for an OpTic versus FaZe match. There's just a ton of history there. Just unfortunately, the last couple times we've casted it, it has been very one-sided. And this is what we have wanted, to see OpTic Chicago go toe-to-toe with the behemoths that Atlanta FaZe have been, and they are doing just that. They take both respawns. Hell, they have a shot at this being a 3-0. They're up 4-2 in the search and destroy as well. They are pushing FaZe the distance. Now let's take a look at the game 1 hard point and some of the stats that stood out in that OpTic win.
Well, I mean, obviously it's Envoy, right? 29 and 14. They needed a couple of a hill breaks, and he was the guy. But even just props them, even in the search when, it was pretty back and forth. I know they ended up losing that map, but it seems like their teamwork has really improved based on what we've seen. It feels like they're winning for one another. They seem to, engagements are right around the number where they want everyone. Everyone is getting involved. I feel like sometimes when we watch OpTic, you can just tell that their pacing is off. Someone tries to make a hero play. That is not the case so far throughout this series.
Well, you have gotten very frustrated casting OpTic at times because the little mistakes that plague them, but I feel like that is something I've heard you say or feel, at least over the course of that. In the respawns, they've been on point. They haven't had those big blunders that have thrown the map away.
Yeah, you know, and you know, at times they're taking their time, and it can be tough. Maybe you can kind of go back and see at points where maybe they can pick up the pace, but it doesn't matter because they won that map, right? Like, for both teams, I think they were just respecting each other so much where it was almost like these 4v4 just standstills, just waiting for someone to make a move. And once that happened, but the fact is they're keeping numbers on team pushes. And that's just what's so important against a team like Atlanta FaZe.
We talked a little bit about FaZe and, you know, their willingness to work on maps at times. Felt that way about the Miami Search and Destroy, and this is one that they've, you know, kind of tried to improve on in league matches. Is they're 3-3. They're going to be doing it from the weak side, maybe just trying to work on that opening break. Yeah,
so I mean, obviously, it's their choice on what side they wanted to play on, starting with that weaker side. So, man, we'll see what they can do. Well, sorry, Moscow, they started on the strong side. But yeah, OpTic here, you know, in a position where Apocalypse for them, 1-3, as you said, 50-50. They know it's maybe a map that hasn't been the best for OpTic. But with the teamwork and the way that they're playing, doesn't really matter.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I wouldn't want to play OpTic anywhere with the way they are playing right now. But I got to tell you, I'm kind of, what is it, standoff map 5? That sounds awesome. Yeah, give me some standoff map 5 action, but I'm not sure OpTic are going to let it get there with the way they've been playing in the respawns. But the second hard point popping, that'll start to be the focus. It's already a 25-point advantage for OpTic Chicago, and they are on to the point. They've got the setup. One player is spawning out really deep, though. That's a Formo that's going to be trying to track back into the action. So you're going to have a one-on-one kind of on one side mid-map and a 3-on-3 towards the objective.
Well, Formo's just going to leave him. That's what you have to do. That is Simp.
Beautifully done.
He repositions. He wins it with the Krig. And now this first push, it's been thwarted by OpTic. Again, the teamwork on point. When they have to make the right decision, they are. As well, they're able to hold on. And right off the break, they have a 60-point lead on Apocalypse.
No, this is textbook. This is exactly what you want early in Apocalypse, to have this significant lead when you start from the strong side. It doesn't get a whole lot better than this. You're going to be looking around a 90 to 12-point advantage. Now, if you're a FaZe, this is where you have to start to make the comeback, make the swing. Because if it gets ugly in these next couple of hard points, you get some of those big breaks that OpTic Chicago was able to do on Moscow. They could really start to run away with this. But you still have OpTic Chicago spawning out deep towards the last hard point. Now a chance for FaZe to rebound.
Well, that's it, right? Based off of game one, their holds in these setups need to be better. As Arcitys, Simp, and Cell, they're all kind of grouped on up, trading so far, but here comes Formal and Dashy. It's down to Arcitys with the 74U in hand. Almost able to get the second one, maybe buys enough time for aBeZy to get there, and does just that.
Well, as he tries to buy time, we're going to get right to an Astro Gaming listed in. Let's shoot it over to Atlanta FaZe.
I'm name from.
Yo, bottom on me, they're hitting me ult. They're shooting ult. Oh, fuck, they have it so bad. Be my back, Coop.
Yeah.
Yo, MC, watch your Coop. MC, shoulder your Coop.
I got
It's not your front.
I Coop.
Yo, Dashy hill dead. One to be in the back. I'm trying to go back.
I'm trying to think front.
Tyler, watch your back. Tyler,
yeah, man.
Oh, fuck me, bro.
I should spawn here.
Go. I'm coming back.
Spawn out. MC.
I have back. I'm gonna die.
I have a Coop. I have a Coop. I have a Coop.
Three in the back. I got one. Play my life.
Yeah.
I need some. Stay alive. I'm trying to stay alive.
I'll take it.
MC.
Alright.
Let's Coop Dashy.
Good, Dashy.
I gave him Coop for a second. I'm reloading.
Nice.
I don't see Dashy.
I'm holding front.
You're gonna be bench.
I'm staying down. One on that front.
Keep Dashy.
I'm trying. Yo, Dashy.
Give me at the front. Give me at the front.
Go. Hit him out.
That's
I don't think there's anything else here.
I don't think so either.
It could be Coop on me. I have front new.
Okay,
Go, boys.
One back.
Yo, go.
Yeah, one's front, I think.
I'm trying.
One's Coop right now. He went back to mid. He went back to no news.
I have all mid.
Seth is nice. They won mid. Coop.
I got it.
I spawned front.
Both there. One thing, both back.
Oh, yeah, very much. No, they're spawning third. Be hard.
I spawned back.
How much is there? How much?
Front Coop.
Almost here.
Matt, one shot.
I forgot Matt.
One shot on the truck. On the truck. One shot.
Are we done?
Dead.
He jumped top, I think.
Well, Joe, You spawn on the weak side, you lose 1 and 2. You have to answer on 3 and 4. They do just that. Lead change to Atlanta FaZe.
And when was the last time Atlanta FaZe had to play this where they were put in a pressure situation? It was the last major, right? They had to try to force a game 9. They got it to that game 9 against Empire. Was on this map. One of their weaker hard points. Been trying to get better at it. And when they get this momentum, that's when they can, well, try to force another game 5 here as they get 3 kills in the feed formal, the last one up. And yeah, that's 3 hills in a row. OpTic just not able to break those spawns.
Well, yeah, it's a little bit different because if I remember correctly, that Empire got smoked in that particular one. This starts out a little bit differently, but yeah, now that they've got rolling, you said it. It's 3 straight hard points. So think about it. If you're OpTic, you come out, you throw the first punch. FaZe hit back. Now it's OpTic's turn to answer. You've got a rebound here. Where you were strong was through 1 and 2. You're going to have a similar position as they've got that right side of the minimap. Now, can they do it again? And we'll see this game of swings continue.
And what we see from teams that try to break this sort of, P2 setup, try to break those spawns, is you're fighting for bottom stilts over here. You're trying to get in a forward position where you're spawning them all the way out at what, P5, and where those spawns take place. So Envoy in a really important spot as you can see a lot of the push coming his way.
Let's see if he can hold it. Nobody in the point as of now with 25 seconds remaining. Scump just taking shots everywhere. The half-second glance back ends up being an opening for Cellium to
There's
take
that spawn.
And that's going to be 1 out. You see at number 4 on the map. Scump going to be spawning out deep. Cellium and Simp able to win there once. The guy isolated right now will be Envoy. Can Envoy work some magic? Not going to happen. Simp tears his head clean off. And that could be the flip. As this gets dangerous now, that lead is growing. You've got control of second. FaZe can build a near insurmountable lead with a hold here.
Yeah, I mean, you had OpTic members, I think, just sort of in those positions, but Cell was able to sneak on through. And then Simp continues to win his one-on-ones, and then you see one player spun out and then the other, and it's just a little bit staggered, but OpTic, they're going to get together. They're going to work towards the back with 40 seconds left, try to break this setup.
Dashy, your game field feature player, working the finesse game. He's able to take down 2. It's still going to be RC's in the point. Well, he answers with 2 of his own. I don't even know how he gets both, but RC's makes the play in the point, keeps the spawns here. Last guy is Envoy, not going to have a chance. So now it's kind of flipped on its head, right? FaZe do a much better job at second. Now OpTic have to do exactly what FaZe did, right? You're going to have to go through 3, 4, 5, bordering on flawless. Hell, not even bordering on flawless. It's going to need to be flawless with nearly 240 points on the board for FaZe.
It was what, 91, 92 after the first 2 hills? It has been, what, 18 points since the first rotation's first 2 hills. Atlanta FaZe just playing some perfect apocalypse hardpoint, but as you said, now it's OpTic's turn. Starts off pretty well. Cell going to take down his teammate. And, the next couple hills is where it's going to happen. They're a little bit scrappier. And they know all they need is 15 seconds. A few seconds here or there, and OpTic, well, they're going to a game 5.
I feel like we deserve a game 5, though, even if it stresses out fans of either side. Like, with how it's gone, the past couple times, yeah, give us a game 5. Riveting showdown as we get closer to the tail end of the year, but OpTic doing everything they can to stay in this game. 4th hard point about to pop. The white arrows are there. They can seal the deal. You're going to need some big entries out of OpTic Chicago in transition from 3rd.
Well, first up's going to be Envoy. Trying to find what Arcitys or Simp, you see this crossfire that they have set up. Just get some information, put some shots in, back on up. aBeZy trying to do the same, but 74U from Dashy hits, almost finds the 3rd. But there will at least be the break early on for OpTic.
They're still alive. They're still alive. 6 points needed for FaZe. OpTic Chicago needed a desperate break, and they get it. I thought Cellium, just knowing what a finesse clown he can be, I thought maybe he was going to work some crazy situation there, but they're able to drop him. Over to our game field feature player now. AK-74U in hand, and, well, maybe a pistol to work some kind of play as well, but it's not going to happen. FaZe able to pull it out. They go down 80 early. They bring it back with a perfect stretch over 3, 4, and 5. And Joe, we've got ourselves a good old game 5 on standoff.
Well, and if you're an Atlanta FaZe fan, this is what you like to see is this is where expanding the map pool comes into play. Because if you're OpTic, what do you probably expect is maybe a Garrison here. They're not going to pick Checkmate. They're going to veto that map. So it comes down to, what, Raid, Garrison, whichever one that they're going to go with. But they throw in this Apocalypse. And in this Apocalypse, you can obviously see starting to pay off for Atlanta FaZe. I mean, I know it was a rough start, but they bounced back from that one quickly, and they put OpTic in a position where they didn't really know what to do.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they lost like their first 3 or something in that realm when they first came into it. Since then, though, they've really found their groove, and now we've got ourselves a map 5. And I think if you're on either side of this, like if you are an OpTic fan, kind of like we said at the beginning of it, what we wanted to see, just thinking about how the year has gone, we want to see OpTic show they could beat this team, and or show you can hang with this team at the very least. We're going to a map 5. They've already done that. Now can you show you can beat the team in an all-important map 5 here when you're talking about maybe having a better start at Major 5 or just knowing you have what it takes to take down FaZe, who have been the top team in the game, and it all comes down to standoff. We've got a quick commercial break. Do not go anywhere. Tweet the stream. We are in for a doozy when we get back.
Call of Duty League is brought to you by T-Mobile. T-Mobile is the shot caller in 5G. Lead the game from the lobby to the last push with America's largest, fastest, and now most reliable 5G network.
Welcome back to the Game Fuel Marquee match. It is the Minnesota home series, and we've got an absolute banger here. It's map 5 between Atlanta FaZe and OpTic Chicago, and we are going to standoff. And we're going to talk a little bit about Game 5 so far this season, Joe.
Yeah, and obviously for Atlanta FaZe, 8-5 overall, 1.05. Their attack rounds, that's really the key here. On the OpTic side for OpTic, I mean, they've had a couple of Game 5s at majors that have ended in heartbreak. It hasn't been the best Game 5s, but hey, you're going to standoff where you're 3-2. Atlanta FaZe is 2-2. One of their weaker S&Ds. Not looking too bad.
No, I love this, Joe. It's looking great. Just as a fan of Call of Duty and wanting crazy matches, this is what we wanted. Game 5 between two of the biggest brands in the game. It's all going to go down on standoff. But this is a look at how the Game 2 went. Remember, OpTic, they were up 4-2. They were in control, and then it was 4 straight from FaZe, able to take that map 2.
Yeah, I know like Simp here has the 1.6, but it was aBeZy who really turned things around. He was 2-7, 3-7, somewhere around there. Then he started to do what aBeZy does, which is find those first bloods, get away with his life, give his team the numbers. And Standoff is a map where OpTic has to be quick because you can play at a very fast pace on this map, whether it's back alley hits, through Brown, even over towards that A bomb site. The numbers are going to be so key here for both of these teams.
And yeah, as you pointed out, like not a crazy map for either team. Like definitely not the best search for either, but they've been solid, both hovering around 50-50. What's going to be the difference here? And you know, you sort of said with round 11s or round 5s, you can kind of throw the stats out the window. I sometimes feel that way about a map 5. Like I know this isn't necessarily on the main stage at a major. We're not a champs or a playoff of some sort, but you just know there's a little more that goes into this. I think especially if you're on the OpTic side, like you've gotten thumped in back-to-back matchups. All the talk has been about how good FaZe has been this year. They want to beat them.
Yeah, I mean, they want to be in the conversation. That's really it. They know that there's a lot more work to be done. But yeah, I mean, a win under your belt gets them going, gets that momentum going. No, I think they've called it the process that just came out. What Roger from OpTic puts that out. It was a great little video where they kind of went through every single stage and talked about the difficulties that they've had to go through every single time with the majors and the game 5s they've lost. But they've said, we're sticking it out together. We're working through this. They want to win with these 4 guys, and this is just another part of that.
I love that. I do. Just through thick and thin, through good and bad, work through it and try to improve as a unit. But now it is time for the Game Field Marquee match, map 5. Gotta feel a lot at stake for OpTic here. Just show they can get this done as we get towards these 2 big events at the end of the year, and we'll see if they can dominate the first blood game. But so far, both sides just looking for an opening.
I mean, this is already great from Envoy and Scump. You've taken a lot of map position away from Atlanta FaZe. They're kind of playing back. You have 2 players in Arcitys and Simp over towards that A site. aBeZy, oh, just 1 HP. 1 HP is Envoy. He's right under their house defensively, but it looks like Cell is trying to find that angle. It's a bit of a crossfire. You have Formal watching over him. And it's just, when are they going to go? When are they going to go? And Cellium at times to be so difficult to kill. He does it again.
Dashy, though, through in the wall, being able to get 1, puts damage into another, but Simp does get the trade. With just under 30 to go, the work to get this plant down. Not going to happen, though. Simp going to catch him on the cross. They've got to acquire this bomb as he's just beaming across the map. Some damage in, but Formal able to surge forward. The trades are there on the FaZe front, though, and they'll take the first round, but Simp picking him off the bomb and making plays around the tank. I mean, he was just hammering people. I don't know how much damage he had in this round, but it had to have been a ton.
Well, that's really it, right? So FaZe kind of know that if they're going to go towards mid-courtyard, try to take Deli away, what can they do to counter that is watch the cross from the bomb towards tank side. So you had Arcitys and Simp really work her 1-on-2 so he could get there. Watch that cross. I mean, aBeZy's 1 HP. Cellium does a really good job. It's just about them in those situations playing their lives, because it was a heck of a push out of Envoy. Well, it is again. Look at number 3. Look at where he is already. He's already in the offensive spawn. He's getting so much information for his team. He's going to have a free kill.
Oh, yeah. Cellium is super, super dead. There's no chance to finesse or be the little movement freak that he is. He's just going to get shot in the back and put down. It's a great opening and great positioning from Envoy as he leaks through. Now they're going to try and isolate Envoy. Can Envoy get a kill here? Can he at least take down 1? He does. Maybe going to do more damage. That is just massive from him. They try to isolate him. He doesn't let it happen. Then the help comes in. Beautiful sequence there from OpTic, but it all starts with Envoy.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's just VOD review or what. If they've seen something with the first offensive round from Atlanta FaZe, maybe some of their tendencies and what they like to do. But he knew that that was open. You know, maybe he's got an AR watching over him from top round. But, I mean, the fact is Envoy just goes.
Yeah, and he gets 2. I think he does damage into the other 2 players as well. It's a huge round for Envoy, and they'll tie it up 1-1. Now let's see if they can find more success offensively. Now they have another look at it. Cellium going to be playing from that same position deep, and they're just going to nade him. They just put nades all around him. No trophy to cover him. Cellium will drop. Numbers to OpTic.
I think they just see that there was no trophy on him. Yeah, there's the trophies over towards the A side. So the team nades come in. And okay, you have this first blood, and you turn it into a round win. Envoy taking a challenge. We're just going to back on down. And of course, that's aBeZy. Maybe the one player you don't want to run into in a 1 versus 1. But he's just putting shots in everybody.
He just puts shots in and keeps on moving forward, backing them up, giving himself another inch. He's going to get the little shoulder in, get the information, but a 4v2. Huge favor their way. aBeZy will chow out. The melee comes in, and OpTic Chicago will go back-to-back rounds and take the edge once again. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know if that was... I don't know if he had a trophy at first and they destroyed it, or if there was just no trophy to cover Cell.
There was no trophy there.
Yeah, so yeah, they just nade him out of his spot. I mean, that's one good way to kind of get him out of those positions he could be annoying, whether it's a flank from Envoy to take him out or just nades galore to his spot. Beautifully done.
The fact is I know he's only 3-1, but Envoy is playing with some real confidence. Like he is. Like he's taking gunfights. He's challenging, you know, Simp and aBeZy, going on to the next fight. His teammates are following him up, and this is another quick round for OpTic. 3 players towards the back alley, but Atlanta FaZe are ready for it. They immediately go towards that execute bomb being planted now into a 4-on-4 retake.
Yeah, RC spots one or two, and they just get the planning quickly. How do they work this 4-on-4? Of course, it's Envoy surging his way up the map, looking to take the fights, get some damage in with an aid. Scump there with the help, able to pick one out of the window. Numbers over OpTic for a second here after the Envoy kill into a 2 versus 2 now. Dashy trying to work through his way on the flank. Scump able to hit with the nade into a 1v1 we go. And he's only got a couple of seconds to really find this kill and work the defuse. I just don't think there's enough time. Cellium's going to spot it. Dashy can't get on it. And that's sometimes the, you know, the massive benefit of getting a really fast plant in. Like, it's just time is against you so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the information, right? RC's watching back alley, and they know what they need to do. They get that bomb down. Cellium is able to win one, but he's just finessing his life. Because, really, the big play here is on the bomb, where his teammates are dying. Luckily, Simp's able to get that trade, because Envoy was really close to finding both of those kills on his own. The nade is able to connect, but in the 1-on-2, Cellium gets a free kill, and then just not enough time left. That's what you can see. On one side, you have Envoy 4-2, aBeZy 0-4. We've seen this, what, just in the map number 2. When is he going to get going?
Well, hopefully for the OpTic side, never.
That would be the case. Yeah. That would be the best case for them. But I don't know if that's possible. I mean, even right there, right? To me, that kind of is a switch of tempo of aBeZy and Simp wanted to take a gunfight. They do back on up in case there was a hard counter there, but they wanted to try to get him involved. He's been in a tough role. They've been executing around courtyard. He's just kind of shouldering back and forth inside of deli. Not able to take those easy plays, but now they're going to go through back alley. There goes Simp and aBeZy.
It's good on Scump to pick this up, but he does. He's able to get away. aBeZy will stay killless in this one. Can Simp hold up? Not going to happen. That is just beautiful from Scump and Envoy.
Finesse around. He was baiting him with the slides, acting like maybe Simp just was able to find the opening.
Unfortunately for him, there was another teammate there. Formal tax on the third. Now all down to Cell, who's got 5 HP. In a 1 versus 4 as bomb goes down for OpTic. I'm not sure what you try to do here. Not a lot to be done as Envoy finishes it up, but yeah, you were kind of pointing out the desire from Simp and aBeZy to work that flank, and I mean, it's all Scump to get the first one, and then some incredible work there with Envoy to get Simp down as well. The fact you get both those kills without losing a player.
To keep numbers, right? When you're going to win the first blood, you know, Simp might follow that up and find 2 if they're not ready for it. So the awareness to recognize he may follow him up. I spotted him. I'm going to try to bait him in with my slides. And yeah, they keep the numbers advantage.
And they have taken aBeZy out of this game completely. His Envoy is doing his best aBeZy impersonation based on the aggression and gunfight wins we're seeing. 7-2, 3 in a row, 4v2 advantage now for OpTic, and he keeps on hunting. Arcitys will go down as well. Cellium once again in a 1v4. OpTic picking him apart, and the aggression from Envoy they have not been able to limit.
It really is like you're watching what aBeZy has done for FaZe the last couple of years.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
I'm going to take a one-on-one, follow me up. Like, that's really it. I'm getting all the information from my team. On top of that, he's killing everyone. So he's having himself a map up to 9-2, 5 in a row. The man can do no wrong at the moment.
Well, he started off with a map 1 banger. Goes double positive, drops 29. Now looking to close this one out with a vengeance. What a performance this is from Dylan Envoy.
Well, and think too, Maeve, right? A lot of the times throughout this year, it's him finding maybe the route. This is not happening. He is just going headstrong. He's taking one-on-ones. It's not about maybe Scump going first. It's him. He's saying, just follow me up. I'm going to win the gunfight. From here, we're going to do this. It's his game evolving as this year has gone on.
I think he's done a little of both. Like when he finds that gap up mid and flank Cell, like I think he's become, I mean, like kind of like a double threat right now. You got to worry about both plays.
Yeah, I mean, up the middle, though, he's hoping to take the one-on-one, though,
that's true.
right? I mean, that's not
true.
like him finding a route behind.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Finally, though, FaZe able to answer back. Cellium takes Envoy out of the mix, which, yeah, I mean, one point of focus for us in the keys to victory was to limit aBeZy. Now it's maybe trying to limit Envoy. But maybe this is what aBeZy needed. A nice play, a nice round, finally get some kills on the board. And FaZe stay within a round.
Well, it was 4-2 in game 2, right? Then it was 4 quick rounds for Atlanta FaZe to win that map. This is when those adjustments start to come out. Be ready for Envoy, the plays he's trying to make. Now that if you're OpTic, you have to know that they're going to be ready for these kinds of things. You show them maybe a couple of different looks.
Well, to be Envoy and Scump playing around that A site. They're in position this time, though. aBeZy able to catch Scump. So finally, for aBeZy, you get that first blood. You take that one-on-one. You keep cutting them down. Scump and Envoy both taken out of it. And it looks so dominant there for a moment for OpTic. But that is 2 fast rounds where FaZe strike. And they bring it to 4-4.
And who is it? It's 2 out of aBeZy in the last round. It's 2 out of aBeZy. The first blood, no trade, right? He's got teammates looking over him. Envoy's hoping he can catch an angle with the slides, trying to bait him in, but aBeZy just waiting for his health to regen, and then he pops again. FaZe quick to rebound after being down 2 rounds.
This is fun. You having a good time, Joe? I love this.
I'm having a good time. It really is. It's the Titans, you know, that we kind of expected. Just talent versus talent.
Yeah, just throwing them blows. Who's going to have the last punch? Round 9. Because last time they were in this spot and worked their way into Brown, remember, it was that aBeZy and Simp flank that Scump and Envoy dealt with so well. And I wonder if that's eventually going to be the play call. As you can see, at number 3 in Envoy and 4 in Scump, just still trying to hold this, just thinking eventually that's going to be the play call. But for now, Simp's just holding outside of Brown. Oh, God, it's Envoy. Is he going to read this? They're on both sides of him, able to take the first. Simp will get the trade, though, so very quickly into the 3 versus 3.
Yep, I mean, you know, Envoy gets his first blood, but there's a trade, so you have equal numbers into this round. Both lose kind of those entry guys. But it looks like Simp has a very good read on this. He's starting to get pushed up in the bottom. Brown, I thought he was going to go on a flank. Arcitys, though, through courtyard. He's able to find one. Bomb being planted, and it's going to be in a 2-on-2 retake situation.
Oh, God, I thought with the trophy and nade, he was going to drop there, but what a win from Dashy to get them to a 2 versus 2. Now Arcitys and Simp on the retake. Scump and Dashy on the hold. Here we go. Little bait and switch, not going to work. Simp peeks and gets hit to 18 health, just trying to get out with his life. Arcitys just trying to finesse back and forth, but Scump able to take it. Now all going to be on Simp. 52 HP for Scump. Dashy soaring forward, and they get it done. Dashy and Scump able to hold. You just saw kind of the bait and switch game back and forth between these two duos. That was fun.
But it's this kill.
That
right?
win
That's
there.
That Cell's got to wait. He's got to stay alive in this position. Wait until his two teammates work up from courtyard. Yeah, that's one of those ego challenges you live and die by, and then that round, they died by it.
This time around, OpTic not letting them rip off 4 straight like they did in the game 2. They get their 5th round on the board. Now the pressure on FaZe on offense to get us to a round 11. Remember, this is OpTic looking to win their first search and destroy against this FaZe team, but it's aBeZy that gets the first blood. Numbers for FaZe to get this to a round 11. I'm not going down yet. They're going to take another fight. Simp wins the one-on-one versus formal mid-map. 4v2. Bomb going down.
And again, just no response after that first blood. aBeZy gets it. It's clean. They're able to work another 2 versus 1 inside the site. There has to be a response from OpTic. When they see Simp and aBeZy just flying at that site, elsewhere they need to take away something from Atlanta FaZe, but that just isn't happening.
And it all comes down to this round. Game 5, round 11. Your game fuel marquee match, OpTic versus FaZe. It'll be FaZe on offense. It's who's going to be the opener? Will it be aBeZy? Will it be Envoy? Or somebody else make some magic? And of course, it's aBeZy and Envoy that are kind of engaging towards mid-map, but Envoy's going to back down for now. Doesn't catch the timing.
It's a bit of a different setup, though. I mean, you have the SMGs now, shifting over towards Deli and back alley. They were inside of A. So Formal and Dashy inside A. And, well, look at Atlanta FaZe. They're just going to slow things down. They think that they're going to try and let Envoy kind of get loose. Maybe just find an opening. It is very slow. It's Dashy down to half HP, just going to back on up. The problem is inside A has not gone well for OpTic these last couple of defensive rounds.
35 seconds to go. FaZe have got
this is the reaction. This is the difference. They find through the middle of the map. They find a timing. And, well, they take down both Arcitys and Cell.
But Simp is through on the flank. Simp is through on the flank. Is he going to spot Formal? What kind of timing is he going to get? Some damage in, but then the reaction through. Now it's aBeZy in a 1 versus 2. 15 seconds to go. He's going to try and get the bomb plant down quickly. You see Scump starting to inch his way forward. Going to be a big one-on-one here. aBeZy hit down to 60, hit down to 30. The pinch is in, the win is in, and finally OpTic, they get their win in the series. They take a search and destroy, and you can see the boys are fired up about that one.
And it's in a round 11 as well. One of those round 11s that have just haunted them all year long, and they flip the script on Atlanta FaZe. But there was the different look. As soon as they knew that execute at A was coming, they 4 hit through the middle of the street. They take top. Brown control. Simp could have made the play. He found an opening, but the numbers were too strong for OpTic.
And I'll tell you what, even if they lost that round 11, this was just very different. Even if you go back to the first time they played and that crazy Game 5 series, I know it was like 4 months ago, but FaZe annihilated them in search and destroys. That wasn't the case here. It's a round 11, it's a round 10, it is back and forth, and that guy on your screen, how special was he in this series? In the map 1 for Envoy, just an absolute monster. In the openers in that Game 5, just a beast. Envoy has himself a series. And aBeZy starts to get back into it, but their ability to limit him early in those searches is a big part of why they were in the map 2 and why they're able to win that map 5.
And you saw it there, that little lower third that comes in. They secure winner's bracket for the major, but there you go, 2,700 damage from Envoy.
Ooh.
I mean, Cell puts up 2,100, but he's also got 2,700 with 4 first bloods. That's 8 first bloods. I know there are some quick trades from Atlanta FaZe, but yeah, a heck of a map from both of these teams, and really just the entire match, just blow for blow. This is what we wanted to see all year.
100%. I mean, that's what you're hoping for when two teams like that go up against each other. We finally get this map 5 thriller, but we're going to take a look at the scuff play of the game now, and I'm guessing it's probably going to be a play from Envoy, as he had some brilliant moments over the course of this. We're going to hop into round 6.
I mean, he just immediately goes up the middle of the street. The nades are in. He's able to find that first blood onto aBeZy. And then from there, the rest of the team follows him up. They're just taking Brown away from Atlanta FaZe. They're taking map control away. Another player comes in to peek. He finds another one. Quickly, within 30 seconds, is the last one alive with everything in the world to do. And well, it just plays like that. Envoy's ability to get the information for his team, find those first bloods. It led the way here throughout Game 5.
Without question, just a terrific overall series from OpTic, and Envoy specifically, so good. But OpTic, they get the win. They secure a winner's bracket start at our final major of the year. Beautifully done. We still have one more series on the day, though. We aren't done quite yet. We're going to be headed to break, but out of that, we've got Lottie, Nameless, and Study to break down that riveting matchup of OpTic versus FaZe.
Seany, the official eyewear for the CDL. Armor your eyes with Seany Blocks blue light protection glasses by visiting seany.com/gaming. Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League. Call of Duty League is brought to you by T-Mobile. T-Mobile is the shot caller in 5G. Lead the game from the lobby to the last push with America's largest, fastest, and now most reliable 5G network.
What a banger, folks. Jeez Louise. I knew this match would be rocking, but holy hell was that good. We're into the final day of the home series and we're bringing the goods to you guys on the screen. Woo! Do you know what? I'm pumped. I could go to the gym right now and honestly do like 100 push-ups after that. That was insane, that series. Crazy. Absolutely incredible. I must say, you know, it went the distance. Game 5, round 11. And I've also got to say that this is probably some of the best Call of Duty I've seen OpTic play all season. They take down the Titans. Yep. I've got to get your reaction, boys. Nameless, starting with you, mate. What did you make of that?
I mean, that was terrific. OpTic fixed so many of their issues in this match. Clearly what they're doing in practice is now working. Everybody was going off. You got to give the man Envoy a raise. I mean, the plays that he was making on the map were just unbelievable, man. But also, this is a hardpoint clip that I wanted to talk about. If you remember this, this was when I knew that this series would be a little bit different. On P2, they were absolutely dominating. They held down the entire time. Every phase push that came in, they basically stopped it. And then they had an opportunity to push here and break going into the P3. And what you see is there's a player, number 8, that's going to be aBeZy, that's holding the elbow, waiting for somebody to come around. And then number 7, that's So that's Simp trying to hold the back as well at the same time. But OpTic comes in and they actually finally get the break going into P3. Usually what happens is they hold it down, they're not able to chain it into a break. Formal comes through front, gets a big kill. Envoy goes in for the sandwich, they trade out, they get the time on this hill. And right at this moment is when I knew that this series would be a little bit different, because OpTic clearly had learned something. They're waiting on each other on these rotations. They're getting the kills that they need to get in position to succeed. And I just thought that it was terrific that they were able to do that against a team like Atlanta FaZe.
Yeah, I mean, it was absolutely terrific to say the least. We're going to head straight into the rest of the analysis now. Why not wait? You know, Stud, I got to ask you, S&D, talk to me about what you saw, mate. Tell me what was cooking.
Yeah, so this morning I actually came out and said that OpTic have yet to be at Atlanta FaZe in a search and destroy, and that's just simply based off the aggression that they were able to set on the map. But today was a completely different story, man. These guys were straight risk takers. Like Nameless said, Envoy, he needs to get a pay raise because he was on point today. In this round specifically, you could just see the OpTic teamwork coming in. They double nade, they spot out Cellium, and he's going to be a huge player because they eliminate that player, which eventually allows Dashy to freely roam in that top window. Now you see they have the man advantage. Envoy still in a great position in towards middle courtyard. He's going to be able to spot one player towards A, eventually gets a couple shots down, eventually his teammates start wrapping back. I just said eventually a million times. But OpTic, they put themselves in a great position here, and an Envoy with his aggression this entire map, he was that playmaker. It was a him versus aBeZy basically this entire game, and Envoy was winning a majority of these gunfights. You see, he's always that first to the engagement, and this is what I wanted to see out of this SMG duo. But Envoy doing it all by himself. He's slowly pushing up to that A-bomb, wins the first engagement, spots the guy in the second, and he doesn't commit to the gunfight. This is the improvements that we were waiting to see out of OpTic. No one getting overzealous, no one trying to be Superman, and just make the round easier for them, and that's exactly what they did in that game 5. That's why they were able to close it out.
Well, you know what, Stud? OpTic eventually got there, and they managed to seal the deal against Atlanta FaZe.
Took a while.
Absolutely insane stuff. It did take a while. Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to definitely put their thumbs on ice after that one. That was a tough series, to say the least, for OpTic. But I tell you what, talking about how incredible things are, we need to talk about how incredible some of the players we have in the league are as well, because that MVP conversation is coming once again to your screens. Now, our Astro MVP candidates, they are sealed in. We have 5 of them, as you can see. Simp, we've got Shotzzy there, we also have Cell, aBeZy, and we also have Cammy from Ultra 2.
Good list.
5 players that honestly just elite. Yeah, it is really stacked. Imagine facing them last season as a team. Woo, that's scary. But I tell you what, you know, I think MVP is such an incredible kind of title to hold there, and obviously Shotzzy taking that one last year. But I want to ask you guys, especially as, you know, previous pro players, MVP, Nameless, what does it mean to some of these players, and how incredible is it to actually receive that at the end of a really hard-fought season?
Yeah, I mean, I think we could ask for him. He knows a little bit about MVP prizes, but no, jokes aside, MVP is an incredible honor to receive that, and all these players are definitely deserving in their own right. They've all been performing throughout the entire season at an extremely high level, but it really comes down to that final major, that final pod champs. Whoever can turn up and win towards the end of the season when every team is at their absolute best, that is who deserves the MVP.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for me,
Are you looking at the Major 5, the champs? Is that kind of when you decide, obviously, talent, we're going to be voting? So is that what you're really eyeing up here?
Yeah, I'm definitely going towards the end of the year, because obviously to be the most valuable player, you got to do that for the majority of the year. And the biggest tournaments happen at the end. So that is when we're going to definitely see our MVP. All these guys on this list are unbelievable. They're definitely the MVPs. At least Atlanta FaZe have 3 players. So it's kind of crazy when you look at that. But just the MVP, at least from a pro player's perspective, it's the best accolade that you can get, man. It shows that you were doing everything right for your team, putting yourself in the right times, being early to practice, just making sure that you were the best teammate that you could possibly be. So I know it's a feeling that no one is going to be able to accept unless you're the MVP, and it's nothing like it, man. It's nothing like being the most valuable player in your roster.
I loved it. Way to big it up, lads. I knew you were on this desk for something. I knew it. Appreciate your time as always, gents. Well, I tell you what, I need to talk about Major 5 a little bit more, just to let you folks know at home that tickets are on sale. You can get your butts to Major 5. That is right, you're hearing me correctly. July 31st through to August 1st. And it's Esports Stadium Arlington. You guys need to get there. It's going to be absolutely incredible. If you want to watch all your favorite teams battle it out, then make sure you go and buy your Major 5 tickets. Well, we've got to go. I've got to run because I actually have an interview with Envoy to do. Our Game Fuel marquee match. Envoy is waiting in the wings to talk about how epic that series was and how they took the dub. Hello everybody and welcome to your Game Fuel Victory Spotlight. Joining me, I have Envoy from OpTic. Woo, my dude, what a series that was. Pretty damn incredible. I'm honestly still a little bit in shock here. I want to go rewatch that. It was unbelievable. And I've got to say, you guys have had a bit of a bumpy road this season, but everything that you've been working on, everything that you've practiced really came into that moment. And do you feel as a team it really cemented everything you've been working on all season, especially taking that win against Atlanta FaZe?
Yeah, I mean, we still have a lot to work on, but the things we've been preaching in practice have been consistency, taking the right routes, and just being pretty calm. We have a lot of listen-ins where you seem very frantic, and I think today our comms really reflected our gameplay, and it helped us out a lot.
Yeah, it really did. Actually, we had a listen-in, and we heard how good the comms were, and I'm pretty sure Namer said, yep, this is it. They're going to do this, like the comms are perfect, this is the time. Obviously, you have been the team in conversation about that you guys literally could be the team to beat in this competition. Now, with that being said, do you guys believe at this moment in time that you can go on to win the title this year?
Oh, for sure. I mean, we have been believing that we can the whole year, and we've had some hiccups along the way, but I really think we're hitting stride now, and we're just going to, go back to the lab and keep working on these key things that we've been preaching in practice.
Love it. Call of Duty Lab in the OpTic HQ. Love to hear that, man. Now, you have 2 more matches until the stage is over. What are you guys going to do, and what are you going to try and build on to make sure you elevate yourselves even more heading into the very important tournament at the end of our season?
Yeah, I mean, job's not finished. We have 2 matches next week, and we're just going to go back to the drawing board. We're going to keep working on our search, improve our strats, our strategies, and, like every other team, try to expand our map pool going into the end of the year because it's super important.
Fantastic stuff, Envoy. Major congratulations. Love to see it. OpTic is definitely back. I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, Lottie.
Well, there you have it. We've heard from a member of the Green Wall, and not only that, a very good search S&D player, member of the Green Wall. Incredible stuff from Envoy as well. The rest of the team, they've done it. They've taken down Atlanta FaZe, the Titans of the Call of Duty League, so I cannot wait to see what they have up their sleeve heading into the next major. But I tell you what, we have 1 more match to go. That's right, the Minnesota home series is not over, folks. We actually have them themselves taking on Dallas Empire coming up right after the break.
Welcome to the T-Mobile 5G weekly drop game as we get a shot of Minnesota and get ready for another battle. We're coming hot off the heels of an incredible Game 5 Round 11 finish, and now into Empire versus Røkkr we go. This should be fun as both teams, Joe, still just battling to try and get that winner's bracket start at the upcoming major. But if you take a look at the bottom of your screen, remember it's the 5G weekly drop game. Text T-Mo VIP to 313131. for your chance at the giveaway. And Joe, I'm ready. I'm kind of pumped up. I'll be honest, after that one, I want to dance. It was fun.
It gets the blood flowing, right? Yeah, I mean, with that shirt, you look good dancing in that. But now to focus on this match, it's a big one in this group because Empire 1-1. You know, they obviously drop a game, maybe that we didn't expect. You know, Florida beating them, and Røkkr in a position at 2-1 where they have a chance to potentially get top 3, right? And if you're Dallas starting in elimination bracket after, you know, getting to the final of Major 4, that would be that'd be something.
It's just the time of the year. If you're Empire, you really want to build upon the recent success, right? Like, not take steps backwards. So they're looking to rebound here in a big way. But let's start to meet our squads. We're going to kick it off with the host of the current home series. Let's check out Minnesota Røkkr.
Røkkr certainly come to play.